Man, what a week for WWE. Another week in April, and I am absolutely exhausted from WWE programming, man. We had Raw, we had Smackdown, we had NXT, and we had the greatest Royal Rumble that took place yesterday from King Abdullah Stadium in Saudi Arabia. Another 5 hours of wrestling. So, with 3 on Monday, 2 on Tuesday, that's 5, 10 totaling yesterday's greatest Royal Rumble, and an hour of NXT, 11 hours. And the week is not even over yet, man. And we're getting right back into the swing of things with Monday Night Raw and SmackDown go-home shows for Backlash. We got Backlash next Sunday. A lot of wrestling to consume, man. A lot of wrestling to consume. There's a lot of wrestling this week, but there's not a lot of wrestling news, as everything's centered around hyping the greatest Royal Rumble and building around that show that happened yesterday with really not much else left to talk about. All anyone is talking about right now is the greatest Royal Rumble. But Monday Night Raw seen one thing in particular that got me very excited about their programming moving forward. It has nothing to do with Roman Reigns. It has nothing to do with Brock Lesnar. It has nothing to do with Seth Rollins as the Intercontinental Champion. It actually has to do with Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. Now, we all know that Drew McIntyre, by the looks of him, he has the look of the perfect professional wrestler. If you were to construct a perfect professional wrestler, his name would be Drew McIntyre. Everything about him just screams professional wrestler. He's tall. He looks in the best shape of his life. He's a great promo. The in-ring work speaks for itself. They paired Drew McIntyre up with Dolph Ziggler because they feel, in my honest opinion, that this could get Dolph over. And the fact that Dolph has been floundering in WWE's mid-card purgatory for so long now that I think we've all lost count, adding Drew McIntyre is definitely adding a freshness to Dolph Ziggler that has been sorely missed for a very long time. And this could be the perfect fix temporarily right now to get Dolph Ziggler back on the right track. It's definitely going to enhance Drew McIntyre as well, especially if he continues to cut promos like he did on Monday Night Raw. One promo that was sorely needed and everything that needed to be said on Monday Night Raw. Everything that Drew McIntyre stated on Monday Night Raw needed to be said. I have news on them in this podcast and where WWE potentially could take them. We all know Drew McIntyre is worthy of being a number one guy on that brand. He's the one thing that I'm looking forward to most on Monday Night Raw as far as a real shakeup is concerned. If Dolph Ziggler is there tagged along, so be it. I think we've all wanted Dolph Ziggler to be relevant once again for a very long time, but Drew McIntyre, I don't know, man. You know, if WWE does not push this man to be Universal Championship material by the end of the year, somebody is obviously doing their job incorrectly. If Roman Reigns is destined to win that Universal Championship and coming out of the greatest Royal Rumble, I don't even know what the fuck is going on anymore with Roman Reigns. But if Brock Lesnar is to drop that title to somebody, and we are going to have a champion following Brock Lesnar whenever it is he is done with that championship, you look no further than Drew McIntyre, man. I mean, the guy has it all. And if you're not booking this guy as a champion, or at least in a feud for that championship, you are doing something incredibly wrong. They are the best thing right now on Monday Night Raw following the shakeup, and it's just after 2 weeks. Very much looking forward to seeing what they do on Monday nights. Other than that, there really isn't anything on Monday Night Raw, as it was all pertaining to the greatest Royal Rumble. We didn't get anything really for Backlash. And the same could be said for Smackdown Live. I think the only thing that WWE really pushed this week for Backlash was the women's championships, respectively, on both brands, being that the women were not allowed to travel with the WWE into Saudi Arabia. Nia Jax is going one-on-one with Alexa Bliss. Please spare me. Someone buy me some melatonin so I can fall asleep quite easily on Backlash Sunday during their match. Worthless, irrelevant, unimportant. Same can be said for Carmella and Charlotte. Both of these matches got equal billing on Monday and Tuesday night because of, like I said, the women not being able to travel with the WWE this week into Saudi Arabia. Backlash will continue, I believe, to be built on Monday and Tuesday, respectively, this coming week. The rest of the card will be fleshed out. But on Tuesday night, we really didn't see much of anything either outside of Big Cass and the continuing saga with Nakamura and his new heel turn. Big Cass was on Miz TV on Tuesday. He came back from injury. He is being placed in a feud with Daniel Bryan, WWE. If they want to get heel heat on Big Cass, look no further than putting him with the most over babyface on the main roster right now. The true face of the WWE, Daniel Bryan. Now, I don't know who would be interested in seeing Big Cass versus Daniel Bryan live on pay-per-view. I doubt anybody. I don't want to see Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass at all. After all the talent that SmackDown Live has just received, the first match that we're getting is Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass. You know, forget the Daniel Bryan versus Andrade Cien Almas, or the Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton, or the Daniel Bryan versus Samoa Joe, or Nakamura, or AJ Styles. Big Cass is the one that they're going with. But I'm willing to give Big Cass a shot, man. I think he came out and cut a very good promo on Tuesday night. He looked good. He sounded good. Everything was clicking for him. I'm not the only one who screamed, Big Cass reminds me of a young rated R superstar Edge. Just by mere facial expressions alone, I also got comparisons of Big Cass to Test Andrew Martin. More so the Edge comparisons are a little bit more closer to me, man. You know, the facial expressions and the way he uses his facial expressions to come off sounding sarcastic or in a sarcastic way. But he sounded good, man. But the only thing I did not like about Big Cass on Tuesday night was the fact that he used the excuse of he doesn't like Daniel Bryan because Daniel Bryan reminds him of his younger self. And when he was Daniel Bryan's size, he was bullied in school and all through life until he grew and grew and grew. And then he became Big Cass. And everybody that picked on him was being bullied right back because Big Cass was a lot larger than everybody else that originally bullied him. I don't really like that excuse, man. That's not really a reason to feud Big Cass with Daniel Bryan. Now, if WWE wanted to pair, and they still very well may do this, they wanted to pair Big Cass with The Miz, being that The Miz does not have the Miztourage, I would go for that more so than Big Cass giving me lame excuses as to why he doesn't like Daniel Bryan, or why we're getting a feud with Daniel Bryan. Big Cass siding with The Miz or being paid off by The Miz because The Miz is afraid of confrontation with Daniel Bryan after Daniel Bryan already threatened him upon his arrival back to SmackDown Live, that would have been a little bit more believable. The fact that Big Cass all of a sudden is being thrusted into a program with Daniel Bryan because Daniel Bryan reminds him of himself just, back when he was younger. I don't buy that, man. I don't buy that at all. You know, this is the same guy that teamed with Enzo Amore and, said that he's tired of living in the shadow of Daniel Bryan, guys who are much smaller than him. His entire career was based on living in the shadow of someone who was a lot smaller than him, and even though we didn't like Enzo, a lot more entertaining, charismatic as him. His whole career was built on that. So again, the lame excuses just did not work for me for Big Cass. The other thing I didn't like on SmackDown Live was the fact that the Usos seemingly are going the route of Finn Balor. It looks like they have their balls taken away from them. You know, gone are the Uso penitentiary, quotes, and gone is, the hair standing up on the back of your neck. On the back of your neck, it's not paranoia. It's the Usos. No, gone are that Usos, at least for the time being. Now they're living in the shadow of fucking Naomi. And I understand this is all for getting the Bludgeon Brothers over, but when have the Usos ever backed down from a fight from anybody? I mentioned on my SmackDown Live review, I don't really appreciate the Usos kind of, transforming into what we've seen on the Mixed Match Challenge. I want the Usos who are proclaiming to put everybody in the Uso penitentiary. I want the Usos who are proclaiming to be the best at what they do on SmackDown Live. No matter if the Bludgeon Brothers have one-upped them for at least the time being, the Usos will always find a way back to the top. WWE seemingly has halted what made the Usos special. And they didn't even do that with the New Day, man. I loved when they feuded with the New Day because it was over the tag team championships. It was which team is better than the other. Which team will stand tall as the best team on SmackDown Live. And, when the Usos and the New Day embraced after their great Hell in a Cell match in October, they shook hands. That was heading into a grayish area. Because the Usos aren't supposed to shake hands. But in that moment, it was okay because you earned their respect. The New Day earned their respect. The Bludgeon Brothers are simply scaring the Usos. Meanwhile, the Usos were, talking about it's not paranoia. It's just the Usos. I don't know what's going on with the Usos, but I hope they get right back on track. Because the way things are going, I would not be surprised if we see the fucking colorful face paint and the colorful outfits return. And the WWE drops this entire gimmick that the Usos have been on so successfully for the last 2 years. I hope not. Shinsuke Nakamura, man. The one thing that I think we are all in agreement on is that Shinsuke Nakamura's heel run is working out very well for him. Stone Cold Steve Austin even said on his podcast he loves Shinsuke Nakamura as a heel. Heel Nakamura works. Low blow Nakamura, nutcracker Nakamura, whatever you want to call him. It seems to be working, and WWE has put a lot of investment in Shinsuke Nakamura. The one thing that I did not like upon first listen was the fact that WWE changed his theme music. But I knew why they did it. I just didn't understand why it needed to be done. And that is from just a personal music preference on my end, because I'm so picky about music. Not only wrestlers' theme music, because I think theme music is a very important aspect of one's character, but I'm just a music guy in general. And when I heard, something that wasn't the traditional Nakamura theme song that we all so love so much, it kind of threw me for a loop. No, I'm not getting worked. No, I'm not, disliking the theme music because that's what WWE wants me to do. I love heel Nakamura, and I will support heel Nakamura, and I want to see heel Nakamura win the WWE Championship from AJ Styles. No matter how much you vilify Shinsuke Nakamura, I am not going to turn away from supporting Shinsuke Nakamura. So the sentiment shared by many is, WWE is working you. They want you to dislike the theme song. I'm not going to dislike Nakamura for his theme music. I'm actually in full support of Nakamura. His theme music grew on me, man. And I knew why they did it. I'm no dummy. But the only argument that I really presented was I wanted people to at least look at it logically from my point of view. Bobby Roode was the best heel down in NXT. You could probably say at that time he was the best heel in all of WWE. And he had the most over babyface. Actually, well, he was a heel, but he had the most over theme music in the entire company that could be attributed to any babyface. And it worked. And it worked brilliantly. There's no way you're going to have that type of Queen-esque theme music and not sing along to it. When you see a wrestler with a catchy theme, you want to fucking celebrate. When you hear a catchy theme or song in general, you want to sing along. And you want to have fun. That's what makes the whole wrestling experience. That doesn't take away from Bobby Roode being a great fucking heel. Bobby Roode was telling Roderick Strong's wife that he wants to show her what a real man looks like. And he was bringing out fucking tissues because Roddy was upset that he didn't, win the NXT championship. Or he wants an NXT championship match and he wants to do it for his family. And Bobby Roode came out with fucking tissues, sarcastically crying. And then proceeded to tell Roderick Strong's wife that, listen, honey, I'll show you what a real man looks like. That's the Bobby Roode we need. And that's the theme song he came out to. That didn't take away from him being a manipulative fucking cocky prick. It's great. And Roddy was, at that time, was an over babyface. The theme song really doesn't matter to one's heel or babyface run. That's just one example. Sami Zayn has an over babyface theme where people sing along to it. And Sami Zayn's work as a heel has been fucking phenomenal. He's following the path that Neville carved. We didn't think Neville was going to be a great heel. And Sami Zayn is proving everybody wrong, and the heel work that he's done has been phenomenal. Obviously, he's had Kevin Owens to feed off of, but it works. Sami Zayn has been coming out to Kevin Owens' theme music because Kevin Owens has generic heel theme music. But when Sami Zayn goes on his own, he comes out to his own theme music, and he's a heel. Doesn't take away from the fact that people genuinely dislike Sami Zayn for the right reasons. I just felt like at that time Nakamura didn't need to have his heel turn enhanced by changing his theme music. But, to each his own, man. It's working. I think we can all sit back and enjoy what Nakamura is doing. He's owning the heel gimmick. He has made subtle changes to the point where he is making it work brilliantly. Less dancing. His facial expressions have been on point. The theme music is great, man. I always appreciate a remix of the original theme. The essence of the original theme is still there. I guess it's just the theme with the lyrics that's kind of throwing me off. But when I seen him come out at the Greatest Royal Rumble, man, it worked. And I'm like, you know what? This theme is growing on me, and Nakamura's work is going to make it work. So I just wanted to give you guys my point of view on it, but I'm all in the same boat that you are. I think the theme song is working brilliantly, and I can't wait to see more of what Nakamura is doing and does, and hopefully he wins the WWE Championship from AJ Styles, because at this point, I think he deserves it. After a few failed attempts now, I think it's about time we get the belt off AJ Styles and give Nakamura a run on SmackDown Live as the king of SmackDown Live. NXT, man. NXT was an amazing show this week, and it's all because of Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. I mean, these guys are absolutely brilliant in everything that they've done for this storyline. It is a beautiful sight to behold when you watch NXT, man. And a lot of people have this negative connotation when it comes to my podcast and me as a podcaster. Oh, JD's always negative, and JD gives fans a bad name. When you look up Internet Mark, JD is at the forefront of being an Internet Mark. He's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. All he does is complain. Blah, blah, blah. But when people watch my NXT reviews, and these people who say these things about me, they are not. When you watch my NXT reviews, how many times a week do I complain on average when it comes to NXT? Barely anything. Barely anything. That's because NXT is the most quality television show that WWE puts on a weekly basis. It's not Raw. Raw is filled with logic gaps, and Raw is filled with carelessness and laziness, and Raw is just not that good. No matter how many times you watch Raw on a monthly basis, 3 out of 4 shows are garbage. Most of the time, it's 4 out of 4 shows. There's some good sprinkled in between the 3 hours, but the majority of it is trash. Same goes for SmackDown Live. Nothing has honestly been shaken up to the point of a shakeup. These shows feel stagnant, and these shows feel the same even following the shakeup. Meanwhile, after all these departures from NXT, NXT still thrives, and NXT still gives you a sense of creativity and direction. NXT is doing everything literally the right way. They're doing things that I wish SmackDown Live and Raw would do. You don't have to feature everybody, especially on SmackDown Live with 2 hours and an incredibly stacked roster. You know, people talk about the SmackDown 6. You know, we got the SmackDown 5 now on Tuesday nights. AJ Styles, Nakamura, Joe, Almas, Bryan, Styles. You get SmackDown 6. This SmackDown 6 may be better than the old SmackDown 6. But you don't need to feature everybody on a 2-hour show every single week. When was the last time we seen the Velveteen Dream? We haven't seen him since TakeOver. You think I want to see the Velveteen Dream? Of course I do. But I'm not going to sit here and complain that I haven't seen the Velveteen Dream in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't care. Because the next time I see the Velveteen Dream, it's going to be exciting to see the Velveteen Dream. Adam Cole's defended that title once since TakeOver New Orleans. You think you're going to see me sitting here saying Adam Cole needs to defend that title more? No. Of course not. We've seen Ricochet. How many times do you think we'll see Ricochet? Twice a month, maybe. You know? They don't need to be featured every single week. I want to see Fabian Eichner in NXT every single week because I want to see what the fucking guy can do. But every time I see Fabian Eichner, it's a great sight to see because we don't get to see him all that time, or all the time, and we don't get to see him all that often. They give turns. There's a rotation of talent. 1 week we see guys, the next week those guys aren't showcased, and we see a new batch of guys. Same thing needs to be done with SmackDown Live. You know, 1 week we see an Almas. If we don't see an Almas the next week, that's fine. That's fine. The next time we see an Almas, it's going to be fresh. Because if we see these guys repeatedly week after week after week, it's not going to work. That's why WWE had the right idea with Nakamura when they first brought him up. When they first brought him up from NXT, we seen Nakamura maybe twice in the build towards his first match with Dolph Ziggler. They wanted to keep him as an attraction. What happened after that when Nakamura started to be featured in every main event, tag team main events, week after week after week after week, and we heard that theme and we seen that entrance? Got boring. Nobody really seen the excitement in Nakamura anymore. Nakamura wasn't booked like that down in NXT. SmackDown needs to take a page from NXT and book their shows the way NXT books their shows. We don't see Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa every week. But those are two guys that I would not mind seeing every week with how great their storyline is. That storyline is single-handedly fueling NXT. And what they did on Wednesday night was absolutely brilliant. There was no way we were going to get an Aleister Black versus Johnny Gargano match on NXT TV this week. That's a main event match that could main event any TakeOver or any main roster WWE pay-per-view. You think we're going to get that for free? Of course not. Of course not. Now, I pitched the idea of Tommaso Ciampa brutalizing Candice LeRae in some psychotic way, just to add fuel to the fire for this Johnny Gargano feud. Maybe that would be a way for Johnny to get pulled from his championship opportunity against Aleister Black that Aleister Black so generously gave him. But WWE, they didn't go that route. Candice LeRae was there, but Tommaso Ciampa took it upon himself to attack Johnny Gargano before the match even started during his entrance. Johnny Gargano was put through tables off the stage. Tommaso Ciampa came out wearing kinesio tape on his eye as if he was looking like fucking Kano from Mortal Kombat the movie. And that's exactly what he looked like. Tommaso Ciampa brutalized Johnny Gargano so much that they stretchered Gargano out. The visual of Candice LeRae running side by side as the paramedics rushed Gargano into the ambulance. And then we see two sights. And again, attention to detail. Aleister Black walked by as Johnny Gargano was being lifted into the ambulance with a disgusted look on his face for the simple fact that he won't be able to defend his title like he promised to Johnny Gargano. As the ambulance rolled away and drove off into the distance, Tommaso Ciampa was wearing a Johnny Gargano t-shirt waving goodbye to the ambulance, meaning that Johnny is no more. You got your job back. That doesn't mean you're going to become NXT champion. Not on Ciampa's watch. Aleister Black got in the ring and said Tommaso Ciampa and mentioned him by name. Where they were going with that, I don't know. But the storyline is and should be, if Tommaso Ciampa can weasel himself into an NXT championship match and win the championship, not only will he get one back at Johnny, but it would be an absolutely epic moment when the time is right for Ciampa to drop that title. Because if Ciampa's going to take the title from Johnny and break his heart, he couldn't end his career, he couldn't keep him out of NXT, what is the next best thing that you can do? Obviously, I would have went with the Candice LeRae thing, but I don't think WWE would do anything that sinister with this whole women's evolution going on. What is the next best thing? You take the title. You take the one thing that he wants so badly now that he's got his job back. Ciampa would hold that title to SummerSlam, and he would drop it to Johnny in Brooklyn in an epic conclusion to this feud. And Johnny would get that NXT Championship win the title, and become the champion that we also desperately want to see in NXT. It would be a star-making moment. It would be an epic Daniel Bryan-esque moment, and it's a moment that WWE, I hope to God, is not overlooking. Those are the moments that we as fans want. Those are lifetime memories and lifetime moments that fans will remember for a very long time. Do not keep that from us this year. The one thing that we all wanted to see in January was Johnny beating Almas. You look back at that match and you can see why they didn't do it then. But if he's back now and he's going to seek revenge, there's no better revenge than on his ex-best friend who seemingly stole the title that Johnny so desperately wants. That is going to be an epic, epic, epic moment for wrestling fans all around the world, man. And I hope WWE is going in that direction. The Undisputed Error, man, they are legit superstars. Adam Cole is a fucking shining star in the making, and I can't wait to see what he does. Just building himself up through the ranks of WWE, man. And he's making everybody around him that much better. Roddy looks like a superstar. Kyle O'Reilly looks like a superstar. Poor Bobby Fish has to sit out during this great moment with the Undisputed Era. He's going to be out till early 2019. They are great, man. They have such an old school feel to them, and damn, do they look good dripping with most of NXT's gold, man. I would add another guy into that group, no matter who it is, man. Maybe it's a Leo Rush, maybe it's a Donovan Dijak, maybe it's somebody completely different and someone that we're not thinking about. They could certainly get an incredible rub from the Undisputed, and I'm loving what the Undisputed is doing right now. They are the closest thing to a real stable that we've seen in a very long time in WWE. A stable like that could definitely fuel a Shield reunion of sorts. That's the type of internal takeover that you would bring the Shield back for. Not for the Miz Taraj, not for Kane. That's the type of group you would bring a Shield back for, or a Sanity. That's the type of group you would fuel a feud with the Shield. Whatever the case may be, man, I'm loving what the Undisputed Era is doing in NXT right now. Then we have the greatest Royal Rumble, man. The greatest Royal Rumble. If you guys missed my review, it's live on the channel right now. Make sure you guys go and check it out. All you have to do is click that I in the top right corner of the screen, and you'll see a little drop down. The greatest Royal Rumble, 5 hours. It wasn't a terrible event. It was fun for what it was. We understand why it happened. But there were some newsworthy moments from the show in itself. One being the ladder match. The ladder match ended in a very unusual way, a way that WWE is not used to booking ladder matches. Normally, when we see a ladder match, we see, no matter who the competitor is, they could be the most athletic guy on the planet, they could be someone like a Lars Sullivan or someone of that stature. Normally, the competitor's climbing up slowly to reach the ladder and reach the belt, and it takes forever for them to get up to the ladder and reach the title and pull it down. And it's like, you want to set a fire under their fucking ass and move. I mean, who moves like that, climbing up a ladder in a, tense moment like that? It's like they're moving in fucking quicksand, all for the climactic moment, Seth Rollins springboarded up to the ladder and ran up the ladder, grabbed the title, and Seth Rollins won the match, shocking Finn Balor to the point where Balor didn't even know how to react. A ladder match has not ended that way, and I can't even remember how long. I don't think I've ever seen a ladder match end that way. That was brilliant. And the one thing that I would do to continue that is, with the disappointment that we've seen on Balor's face, I think we need some more heels on Monday Night Raw, man. I think Finn Balor should use this as a way to turn heel. Coming out of the Greatest Royal Rumble, I would love to see, instead of Balor Club is for everyone, and him coming out wearing these fucking rainbow colors, and him smiling all over the place as if he lost his fucking ball somewhere at the airport, I want to see Balor have somewhat of an intense side, a side that we've seen of him in the indies. Because a lot of people are saying that Balor doesn't have a great moveset, he's not believable in what he does, his offense is not believable, he's too smiley, looks like an underwear model. There's nothing special about Finn Balor. It's like they stripped him of the demon and they just threw him out there as regular old vanilla Finn Balor who's going to smile at everybody. Enough smiling. There's nothing to smile about. You just lost a shot at the Intercontinental Championship because of what Seth Rollins did to you. He made you look like a fool. You don't have Gallows and Anderson anymore. Why don't you turn and start getting some of that intensity back? I'd love to see a Finn Balor heel run and him challenge a babyface Rollins for the Intercontinental Championship. That's just me, though. That's just me. But that ladder match, even though it was a very underwhelming match for ladder match standards, it really wasn't all that impressive. They didn't really recreate any spots. There wasn't any big spots with the ladders. And it was quite disappointing with the individuals involved. Should have seen something like that, but the ending itself made up for what was a lackluster ladder match. Shinsuke Nakamura's heel work, like we mentioned on Smackdown Live, it has single-handedly enhanced the feud with AJ Styles. There was no story going into this WWE Championship feud with AJ Styles, and the heel run that Nakamura is on right now has single-handedly enhanced the feud to the point where I want to see them continuously fight for the WWE Championship. A lot of people were upset at the double countout ending, but it's a way to get the match on Backlash's card, so I understand that. And normally when WWE goes into these foreign countries, the likelihood of, dropping the WWE Championship to someone else in a foreign country is very unlikely. It's only happened once before, and that was with AJ Styles when he beat Jinder Mahal in the United Kingdom. They did book the match for Backlash. It is made official because of the double countout at the Greatest Royal Rumble. Nakamura will get another shot at AJ Styles in the WWE Championship. And this needed to be done because there was no other way to get Nakamura a title shot. If he lost, then he gets no more. There's no reason for Nakamura to get another title shot. He lost at Mania and he lost at the Greatest Royal Rumble. That wouldn't have flown too well with the fans. But the fact that it was a double countout and we've seen some intensity from AJ Styles and he got overly emotional with anger because of what Nakamura has done and what Nakamura continues to do, it's more fuel to the fire and it's enhancing the feud. And I am perfectly okay with that, as long as we get to see Nakamura win the championship. And when Nakamura wins the championship, we're going to get another match because AJ Styles, is going to get that rematch because of his rematch clause. And they will continue to fight. Maybe we get it to Money in the Bank and we get a ladder match out of the two. Who the fuck knows, man? Who knows? TLC match between the two. Wouldn't that be something? So I'm loving what Nakamura is doing, and he's single-handedly enhancing the feud with AJ Styles, and it's working out brilliantly. Roman Reigns. WWE, again, everybody's saying, played the internet marks. Whatever the case may be, I don't give a shit. Roman looks like a loser. Roman was a loser. Roman lost the greatest Royal Rumble match for the Universal Championship inside the steel cage with Brock Lesnar. The match was awful. The match was nothing but F5s, spears, Superman punches, and German suplexes. It's like I was playing a game of WWE 2K18 and I had my finisher meter on max, as if I used a fucking cheat code. You know? Finishers galore. Unlimited finishers for Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. The match was trash. The Universal title is a joke. This feud is a joke. WWE's obsession with getting Roman over is a joke. Roman wasn't even that well received in Saudi Arabia. Hornswoggle got a better reaction than Roman Reigns. All I know coming out of this is that Roman and the experiment is done. Move on. Nobody wants Roman. Nobody will ever want Roman. And the best thing that WWE could do about Roman Reigns is have him come out on Montreal Night and Monday Night Raw and shit all over the fans. Just come out and state, I worked my ass to the bone for you for 4 years and none of you appreciate a goddamn fucking thing. Just shit all over the fans. Shit all over them. That's what I do. Turn Roman heel. Turn Roman heel and just end this misery. He's a fucking loser. He's being portrayed as a loser, and that ending, whether WWE wants to push the initiative more or not, that ending should stand. I don't give a fuck who hit the floor first. Roman looked like an idiot. Lesnar was out of the cage first. It doesn't matter whose feet rolled to the floor first. It doesn't matter. Lesnar's body hit the ground first. That is enough to secure a win and retain the championship. I don't want to see this match at Money in the Bank. I don't want to see this at SummerSlam. I don't want to see Roman and Lesnar ever again. Just give the title to someone who I think we all could be in agreement with, deserves it, and that is a Braun Strowman. The guy is over. The guy is wanted by the people. The guy is one of those guys on the roster that people genuinely want to cheer for. Get him the title. Lesnar and Strowman have only had one match, and it was completely underwhelming and disappointing at best. You don't think people want to see another Lesnar versus Strowman match? I certainly do, because I want to see them do a lot better than what we got at No Mercy. But this time, the right winner should be Braun Strowman. Roman Reigns should be nowhere near any championships right now for the foreseeable future, let alone the Universal Championship. Back of the line, bottom of the barrel for you, big dog. And WWE better not push the initiative to conjure up another rematch between these two. It's over. Deal with it. Deal with it. The other thing coming out of that Brock Lesnar match is that it's been reported that WWE is set on ending CM Punk's 434 days as WWE champion. And I went off on a little rant here on the Greatest Royal Rumble review. And I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't care what you think or what you think of the record books. I don't care if you're a Lesnar mark or a Punk mark or you call me a smart mark. I don't care. WWE, they would be absolutely fucking idiotic to think that Brock Lesnar and his reign as champion has anything to do with CM Punk's reign as WWE champion. You're not going to take a title that has the history of 2 years. The Universal Championship is only 2 years old. You're not going to take a title that's 2 years old, that's had, it's been Balor, Owens, Goldberg, and Lesnar. 4 fucking people in the history of the WWE to ever hold this title. You're going to compare this to a title with the lineage and the history of a WWE championship? No matter how Lesnar holds this title, no matter how long Lesnar holds this title, comparing it to CM Punk is fucking idiotic. CM Punk held the WWE championship for 434 days. He has nothing to do with the Universal Championship. The Universal Championship wasn't even in existence when he was there. So on what grounds do you have to compare or break that record? Can you say petty? The pettiness of WWE is fucking outlandish. They're two different titles for two different history-making moments. It has nothing to do with CM Punk. Now WWE's going to tout, Brock Lesnar has a world championship reign of 434 days. Yeah, for the Universal Championship, not the WWE Championship. Nice little asterisk next to his name in the record books. Because you ain't going to fool me on that one, and I'm not accepting that whatsoever. I don't even give a fuck either way. I don't care. It's just the right thing to do. And I made mention of Daniel Bryan getting an asterisk. You guys know how much of a Daniel Bryan mark I am. He got an asterisk at the Greatest Royal Rumble. Longest time ever in a Royal Rumble. Yeah, no shit, he was with fucking 50 men. He was in a Royal Rumble with 20 more men than Rey Mysterio's old record. An asterisk. You don't think Rey Mysterio would have the record if he competed in a Royal Rumble with 49 other fucking guys? I love how WWE likes to rewrite history and make us think that we're fucking stupid. This is not even a legit Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble is 30 men that has implications on WrestleMania. This was a political fucking propaganda event that meant nothing. Daniel Bryan entered number 1 at the Greatest Royal Rumble, and he lasted all the way until the end. I don't know what the official time was for Daniel Bryan, but he lasted up until he got eliminated by Big Cass. Now, I failed to mention that, it would have been great to have The Miz eliminate Daniel Bryan, and not Big Cass, but I'm guessing they want to get some heel heat on Big Cass before they get into this match at Backlash with Daniel Bryan. Again, I don't really give a shit. The Miz is who we want to see feud with Daniel Bryan, not Big Cass. Either way you look at it, I appreciate WWE at least sticking to some storylines that we're seeing on WWE television. Braun Strowman ended up winning the Greatest Royal Rumble, and he had 13 eliminations. I think that's an all-time Rumble record as well. Asterisk next to his name as well. But the overall consensus for the Greatest Royal Rumble was that it was fun, it was entertaining, it had the makings of, what you come to love about a Royal Rumble with the countdown and the intrigue and the surprise and, the returns and the funny moments, a.k.a. Titus O'Neil. There was a few botches in there by Bobby Lashley where he almost killed Elias and Big Cass, respectively. Nice little interaction between Daniel Bryan and Kurt Angle. We've seen some NXT alum in there, or NXT superstars in there. We've seen Tucker Knight, minus Otis Dojovic from Heavy Machinery in NXT. It was a fun 2 hours for what it was. Ultimately, the winner gets nothing but a trophy, a handshake from the Prince and Vince McMahon, and a Saudi championship title, I guess, that they created just for this event, and this event only. But if WWE really wanted to add implications to this, a lot of people saying that the winner could have gotten a title shot at that big show in Melbourne, Australia. That's going to seat 100,000 that WWE is looking to do internationally in October. I wish there would have been implications on this Rumble at some point for later in the year, but I think we are all in agreement on this as well. If this is going to be a 10-year project with Saudi Arabia, and WWE is making over $250 million for this 10-year deal, which is a lot of fucking money. I think WWE needs to position it in a better way, man. They could do this and have it in between Money in the Bank and SummerSlam. Maybe the winner of the Battle Royal in the Greatest Royal Rumble gets a title shot at SummerSlam. Maybe it happens later on in the year when nothing is going on. I don't know what needs to be done, but having it 3 weeks after WrestleMania for the simple fact that it was just thrown together in 3 weeks, and it was a political move, and it was done to sabotage the WrestleMania main event just to get Lesnar and Reigns again inside a steel cage, and etc., etc., etc. It's a lot of wrestling for one to consume directly after 7 hours of WrestleMania. And I don't want to see another Royal Rumble match so soon after the original Royal Rumble and the one that matters. So WWE would be better off positioning this event sometime in between Money in the Bank and SummerSlam and giving the match some implications to the winner whether it is a title shot at SummerSlam or a title shot at some big event in the future, whatever the case may be. You know, I would like for the winner to receive something instead of a fucking handshake and a trophy that will ultimately do nothing. But that was pretty much the week in WWE, man. And I hope that you guys stick around because I do have some news articles here. And we're going to try and get through this the best that we can. I have a Wrestle Crate unboxing to go over with you guys. We got a new t-shirt that Barbershop Window will not sell because of the Roman agenda. So we got that for you guys to purchase as well. Kind of a celebratory thing, man, being that he is finished. He failed. He is not the Universal Champion, so we're celebrating in style with a new Roman Reigns t-shirt, man. All this, plus so much more to come right here on Off the Script. Off this shitty fucking product by coming on here and speaking the fucking goddamn truth about this fucking filth.
And I can book a better show taking a fucking dump after eating my fucking Chipotle chorizo with extra cheese.
I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. Have I ever? Of course not.
WWE is great, man. Fuck you, Japan, and Kenny Omega, Okada. Delete! What is it, man? Can I suck your dick? What is it, man?
And this is the #1 fucking podcast.
Right here on YouTube.com!
This is Off the Script. Ladies and gentlemen, we are celebrating the fact that Roman Reigns is a failure. We are celebrating the fact that after 4 years, he's still not over. This may be the most controversial. This may be the best statement you could ever wear to a WWE or wrestling event, period. Off the Script proudly brings to you via their official Teespring shop. For the next 8 days, you can own or have the opportunity to own this beautiful Reigns and Still Not Over t-shirt. Designed by the man himself, Sal Rex. If I don't see this t-shirt blow away every other design we've ever sold on Teespring.com, I will be incredibly disappointed. I know all of you have the same hatred for WWE's Roman agenda as I do. Do not disappoint me, people. I'm going to leave you the link for this in the description or the comment section pinned down below. I want you to just go out there and express yourself the way we do on this show, and there's no better way to do that than with this t-shirt, man. Go ahead, man. Have at it. Teespring.com. The link will be down in the comment section pinned towards the very top. Unreal. Unreal. JD, are you about to go rob a bank? Yes, I am. I'm actually going to rob the bank right up the block, Capital One. Me and my buddies. No, I got the chills. I don't know. I'm fucking cold. I don't know why, so I'm wearing the hoodie. Man, I don't even know where to begin. There's so much I want to talk about before we get into the news. I got this fucking unboxing I got to do. Wrestle Crate. You know, it's the only box that I got. I'm waiting for, we did Pro Wrestling Tees, actually. I'm waiting on that wrestling club. Hopefully we get that. But we got some Wrestle Crate to unbox for you guys today. I do want to make one mention here as, you know, I am incredibly proud of my brother and Tony and everything that they do over there. You guys know that they made the theme song and the new theme music for Off the Script. My brother has some projects coming up. And if you guys are fans of music or fans of supporting good music and you want to see good music be created, I would absolutely love if you guys go support my brother's Patreon page. Now, he just set it up. He wants to see how many people would be interested in, supporting his musical ventures. I believe he's got some big recordings coming up, and it's going to be fucking epic. Whatever he's working on is different than what we've heard so far from him, and it's going to be fucking great. Music videos to come. I think there's going to be a music video for whatever he's doing as well. So if you guys want to go check that out, please go and support my bro, Frank Legionary. He's the mastermind with Tony behind the Off the Script theme, if you guys enjoyed that. I do think he might be setting up some small freebies here and there to get the Patreon thing going, and maybe some early access to everything when everything gets up off the ground. So if you enjoy my brother's theme, if you enjoy my brother's music, you can always support his Patreon page and support the cause, man. Good music is it's very difficult to find. It's incredibly difficult to find. A lot of musicians nowadays are doing the same old rinse and repeat. Frank is always trying to recreate himself and not have one thing that he's done sound the same as the last. And in the genre of music that he does, that's an incredibly difficult thing to do. So the fact that he plays the music that he does and nothing that he has ever released sounds the same is a testament to his creativity. And if you guys appreciate that, I would appreciate if you guys go and support his Patreon page, man. So I'm going to leave you guys that also linked in the description, and I'm going to leave you it linked at the comment section, pinned with the Roman Reigns t-shirt for the Teespring shop. So make sure you guys go and do that and support on both of those things. Please do so. Thank you guys so much. Speaking of t-shirts, man, you guys can get the Barbershop Window shirts at Barbershop Window. BarbershopWindow.com/offthescript. They do it for Roman, Eat, Sleep, Bench, Repeat. After the greatest Roman Rumble, or the greatest Royal Rumble, and we see Mahal fail at capturing the United States Championship and have one of the funniest botches of the night, there's a reason why we call him #Failuraha. So make sure you guys go and buy that one, man. Plus other designs as well, exclusively only on barbershopwindow.com. We have Harry's. Harry's still supporting the show, man. Harry's.com/script. If you guys want the best shave of your life, Harry's is going to give it to you, man. And they're so confident that you're going to have the best shave of your life that they're going to give you a free trial set. All you got to do is go to Harry's.com/script. And you're going to get a free razor handle, razor blade, protective case, and their beautiful, smooth, and ever so great scenting or smelling foaming shave gel, man. It's got a great scent to it. It's got a manly scent to it. Foaming shave gel, all for free. All you guys have to do is pay shipping and handling. Harry's.com/script for your free trial. Go and do that, because who the fuck doesn't like anything for free? Also, you guys are going to get a free audiobook just for trying out Audible. Audibletrial.com/offthescript. You guys can get anything on there as long as you sign up. Over 190,000 choices to choose from. You get 30 days to browse their service on whatever device you are on. All you have to do is download the app, sign up using our unique link, audibletrial.com/offthescript. And then you're going to get your free audiobook. And the best thing is, if you guys cancel within the 30 days, you get to keep the audiobook for free. So make sure you guys go and do that. Great ways to support the podcast. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. We are nearing 92,000 subscribers. If you guys missed anything I did this week, Monday Night Raw, Smackdown Live, NXT, and the greatest Royal Rumble videos, all linked in the annotation, the icon that you see in the top right corner of the screen. Make sure you guys want to support the show. Check out my Patreon page, patreon.com/JDFROMNY206. Let's get on with the rest of this video, man, because I don't want to be sitting here. I don't want to be sitting here all afternoon. So we got this Wrestle Crate unboxing, and we're gonna find out what the hell is in here, man. I don't know what the fuck is in here, but we'll see. If you guys enjoy anything that you see in here, you guys can certainly go and visit WrestleCrate.com use the coupon code JDFROMNY for 10% off your first purchase. You can also follow them on Twitter at WrestleCrateUSA. And I'm assuming this has to do with Daniel Bryan. We have a Yes cloth. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Maybe I'll use that to wash the new Mustang. Yeah. The fuck do we got here, man? Mega Ran Matt Mania The Revenge? What the fuck is this, dude? Matt Mania. Spear and Jackhammer, Strong Style, KO. New World Order featuring Teak Hall. The Demon King, What a Rush featuring Red R. American Dream, and Clean You Up. All cuts by DJ Cernis. Guitar on the track KO, done by Jim Vicious. All songs produced by Lynx Kinetic. I don't know what the fuck this is, but it all sounds incredibly awful, dude. I don't know what the fuck this is. There you see the track listing on the back. I'm sure it's a fucking Grammy Award winning album. What do we got here, man? We got a t-shirt in here, which we'll show you in a second. I don't know what this is. It looks like, what the fuck is this? Do we have a cheat sheet? I have to look at the cheat sheet, man. Crossed turnbuckle enamel pin. Oh, I guess, look, it's a turnbuckle pin. There you go. There you go. So many fucking pins, I don't know what to do with them, man. We got a t-shirt here. We have a t-shirt here with Sean Waltman and his image on it. X-Pac. There you go, bro. X-Pac featured in this month's Wrestle Crate. Probably wear that on the show tomorrow if there is a show, because I have no fucking news as of right now. All true crime stories, headlocked from Tales from the Road. Crime stories, huh? Vince McMahon has got the biggest crime story of them all. His name is Roman Reigns. What we got here, man? We got a sticker. What the fuck is this? Tiger Mask sticker. Look at that, man. Where am I sticking that? You can stick that right up your ass. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with that. What am I, fucking 3 years old? What do we got here, man? We have Squared Circle magazine, signed by Nikolai Volkov. I'm sure this will be worth mega money a few years from now, man. What the fuck, man? Wrestle Crate, you gotta step your game up, bro. You gotta step your game up, bro. What are you doing? Seriously. You got so many competitors out there doing the same thing that you're doing, and I'm being honest with you. I've been with you guys since the fucking very first crate. What's going on here, man? Come on. You can do better than that. If you guys enjoyed whatever the fuck you're seeing in there, WrestleCrate.com. Please make sure you guys use the coupon code JDFROMNY if you guys want to save some money on that. And follow them on Twitter at WrestleCrateUSA. If you guys want to go and support WrestleCrate and follow all their activity on social media. Man, this Roman t-shirt is fucking beast. You know what? Speaking of the Roman t-shirt, man, there are other, I don't know why I forgot to mention this. The t-shirt is not the only thing that's available on the Teespring store. You can get women's tees. So ladies, if you don't like Roman, you can go get the t-shirt, man. I got women's tees up there. Premium women's tees and premium men's tees, man. Plus, I have a coffee mug with that same image on it. So if you want to wake up in the morning and turn your Keurig systems on and you guys want to have a nice cup of coffee with, the and still not over Roman image on it, man, that's a great way to fucking wake up in the morning. Forget, Folgers in your cup. How about Roman on your cup and the fact that he's still not over? Yeah, man. Oh, JD, you're using Roman's image to get revenue, man. Who gives a fuck, man? Fuck him. Fuck him. We're having fun over here. Anyway, let's move on with the news, man. I have no fucking news, man. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. I really don't know what I am talking about. There is no news outside of just like news and notes following the greatest Royal Rumble, which I guess we can get into. I got reasons why Sami Zayn wasn't at the greatest Royal Rumble. I got news on why Samoa Joe was moved to Smackdown Live. I guess we'll start off with that one. Samoa Joe, one of the best promos in all of WWE, has moved to Smackdown Live. and he has already intimidated or threatened the SmackDown Live roster. Now, the shakeup is in the books, and several of the top names in the company now have swapped brands. One of those top names is none other than one of my personal favorites, Samoa Joe. And his move couldn't have come at a more interesting time. Joe made his return to Monday Night Raw from injury, and he immediately began a feud with Roman Reigns. The pair are currently set to collide at Backlash in the next several weeks, and it seemed as though Joe would be Reigns' next big feud on TV after Brock Lesnar. All those plans were apparently up in smoke as Joe moved over to SmackDown Live by way of the Superstar Shakeup. If Joe wants to pursue a singles title, he has the options of either challenging for the United States Championship or the WWE Championship. Jeff Hardy, as you guys know, retained the U.S. Championship in his match against Jinder Mahal at the Greatest Royal Rumble. AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura went to a double countout at the Greatest Royal Rumble. So if Joe wants either one of those champions, those are their respective championship holders. Many fans found it rather peculiar that WWE would move Joe to a different brand just as his feud with Roman Reigns was heating up. But we've already seen this feud. We've seen these guys in the ring a few times already. How much more do we need to see Joe fed to Roman Reigns? Not something that I'm really overly interested in, only if it was the opposite way around. And it turns out that WWE moved Joe particularly to avoid Roman Reigns. So they did it for Roman. Now, I don't necessarily think this is a bad thing for Joe. Reigns is obviously still the big dog on Monday Night Raw. And when Michael Cole says, "Here he is, the big dog," I want to fucking cringe every time I hear him say that. So WWE wants to keep Joe as a top star, but obviously not on the same brand as Roman Reigns. They want Roman to be ahead of everybody else and above everybody else. If Reigns was running Raw, this would mean that Joe wouldn't be as a big part of the show, wouldn't be as big of a part of the show as we wanted him to be, because Reigns is always going to be that roadblock to stop Joe from getting to the top, where I think Joe actually belongs, no matter the age. Thus, the reason Joe was moved over to SmackDown Live, where he will likely be a big player on Tuesday nights and challenge for a world title. Also, feuds with Daniel Bryan, feuds with Randy Orton, feuds with AJ Styles. You know, those are matches waiting in the wings, man, and I can't wait to see what is going to happen there. PW Stream reported and tweeted out this week on April 22nd, per sources, Samoa Joe was moved to SmackDown Live to avoid Roman Reigns. The two will have a match at Backlash. However, following that, Reigns will be running Raw as the number one guy on Raw. As such, Joe wouldn't be a pivotal part of the show. WWE wants him to play a big role. He wouldn't be on Raw, hence the move. So it should be interesting to see the feuds Joe has on SmackDown. Obviously, I just named you 3 off the top of my head that I would like to see. Assuming WWE doesn't do away with any brand exclusive rosters, Joe would be unable to return to Raw until after WrestleMania 35, when probably another shakeup will occur. So, like I said before, man, I don't see this as a bad thing for Samoa Joe. The fact that Joe was moved to SmackDown Live, coupled with the fact that Roman Reigns didn't win the Universal Championship, this makes the match a little bit more unpredictable, and it gives WWE a reason to possibly put over Joe, because if Reigns was the Universal Champion, then there's no way Joe was going to go over Roman Reigns, and he just would have been, you know, one of those guys to be put over and fed to Roman as his first challenger for the Universal Championship, and that wouldn't do Joe any good. You know, he'd pretty much be doing the honors as he went out the door on Monday Night Raw. Now, with Joe on SmackDown and Roman on Raw, not as the Universal Champion, this gives WWE a reason to build Joe up. What is a loss to Samoa Joe going to do to Roman Reigns? Nothing. It will do nothing to Roman Reigns. WWE has no problem jobbing him out to Brock Lesnar 2 fucking shows in a row. So what is Samoa Joe and a loss to Samoa Joe going to do for Roman Reigns? Nothing. Look at the bigger picture here. What is Reigns going to do with a win over Joe? Nothing. What is a win for Joe over Roman Reigns going to do for Joe? Everything possible. Give him momentum, catapult him up the ranks on SmackDown Live, even though he beat a Raw superstar. I don't need to say any more. Joe is the investment here now. Reigns is your investment long term. You haven't given him the Universal Championship, so who the fuck cares what happens to Roman Reigns right now? Joe is your investment. Joe's been cutting the promos of his career. Joe's been great. Joe has momentum. Keep it with Joe. Simple as that. I don't need to dive into it anymore. Who's been better presented on WWE television? Who needs it more on WWE television? Roman, who's always going to be there? Or Joe, who just came back from injury and could really solidify himself with a win over the big dog? I say we give it to Joe. There's no reason why WWE should go into Backlash thinking that Roman is going to get one over on Samoa Joe. No, we don't need that whatsoever. Joe is the right winner, and Joe should be the one to go over Roman Reigns at Backlash. Absolutely no question. WWE, I mentioned in the opening of this podcast, has Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler on Monday Night Raw. Easily the best thing on Monday Night Raw from Monday, and for the first 2 weeks of this Superstar Shakeup on Monday Night Raw. Now, one of the bigger moves that left the blue brand and joined Monday Night Raw that we are all talking about is Dolph Ziggler. Although Baron Corbin and Bobby Roode will arguably be considered the bigger rivals compared to Dolph Ziggler, being that Dolph Ziggler has been floundering in basically nothing in a sea of mediocrity for years. We're talking about Dolph Ziggler more than Bobby Roode and Baron Corbin at this juncture because of who he's paired with. On the surface, Dolph Ziggler and his arrival would have been nothing to really get excited about based on how his career has played out on SmackDown Live. As the exception would be that he'd continue to be forgotten on Raw. However, all eyes are certainly on him as he did not arrive alone, bringing NXT's Drew McIntyre with him in the process. Although they've currently decided to target Apollo Crews and the circus act known as Titus O'Neil, or Titus Catering World Slide, we are now listening to what Meltzer is stating on the Wrestling Observer newsletter, as he has revealed that there could be some big plans in the works, with McIntyre reaping the rewards further down the line. Speaking on the latest edition of Wrestling Observer Radio, Meltzer has suggested that Ziggler and McIntyre, who seem to be now going by the name of The Show, could find themselves as Raw Tag Team Champions relatively soon. And that could be followed up by a big breakup to catapult McIntyre into much bigger programs to turn him into the big star he once was expected to be. According to several sources, Meltzer stated that they're a really good team. They could be tag team champions. They should be the tag team champions and probably split, and I sense that's what it is going to be because I can't believe for a second their long-term vision for McIntyre is in a tag team with Dolph Ziggler. I think it's a way to kind of slowly build him up and then do the turn on each other, and then McIntyre is being pushed to higher spots on the card. Obviously, with a split eventually coming down the line, it suggests that McIntyre is the one that will benefit from it, especially since it looks like the company is serious about giving him more of a natural push on this occasion, as opposed to the forced one he received previously, which failed. For Ziggler, though, a tag team title win could be the catalyst to reignite this man's career, but a split which leads to a push for McIntyre could be even more detrimental to Ziggler and his future in the company, especially with his contract situation up in the air. I mean, any dummy can see this and see that this is where they're going with this. We all know this is not a long-term vision, nor should it be. All you need to do is have a functioning brain, see and look at McIntyre, and realize that this guy has got fucking champion written all over him. And I've stated this when he arrived in NXT. I stated this when he was on the Indies in hopes that he would sign with the WWE. You know, people talk about Randy Orton and people talk about Bobby Roode. You look at those guys and, you know, how old they are and how phenomenal they look. Like they got the perfect wrestler prototype body. You look at Drew McIntyre, man. Drew McIntyre is in that category, and I don't want to continue stating it and repeating myself, but if WWE doesn't look at McIntyre and feel those same sentiments, if WWE doesn't look at McIntyre and they don't see a world champion, if WWE doesn't book Drew McIntyre to be in contention for the Universal Championship or put him in a program with whomever the Universal Champion is at the end of the year, they are doing themselves a huge fucking mistake. The guy is not the chosen one anymore. This is not 21-year-old Drew McIntyre anymore. Drew McIntyre is not even in his prime yet. The guy is only 30. I don't understand how you could look at anyone else on that roster. Look at Jinder Mahal. You look at Jinder Mahal and you think Jinder Mahal was a WWE champion for 6 months, 7 months. Look at Drew McIntyre. If he doesn't receive that same treatment, someone needs their termination papers immediately. This is going to be a good thing for Dolph Ziggler right now. Is it going to be a good thing for Dolph Ziggler long term? No, because once McIntyre leaves him, all the relevancy that's come with McIntyre and his arrival will soon go out the window. And I don't know whether we want McIntyre as a heel or a babyface. I would say keep him as a heel. We need heels. After the promo that he cut, I would want to see him as a heel. That was a promo that needed to be cut. McIntyre was a right man to cut that type of promo. I'd love to see a McIntyre versus a Rollins or a McIntyre versus a Reigns if he is the champion. You know? McIntyre versus pretty much anybody. As a heel, I think that's money. I think he would carry himself very well as a money heel. Now, Dolph Ziggler, I mean, I don't even know if he's going to be with the WWE past the summer. I don't know. His contract apparently is up in the summer. All that fabricated bullshit from Sports Illustrated and Justin Barrasso saying that he signed a $1.5 million contract to stay with the WWE, making him one of the highest paid full-timers on the roster. All bullshit. All bullshit. Ziggler came out and stated that his father was even asking, you signed this big money deal? Good for you. Ziggler was like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I didn't sign no deal. My contract is up this summer. He didn't give you a month. He didn't give you a date. All he said is that my contract is up in the summer and I have some thinking to do. At that point, if I'm Dolph Ziggler, I'd walk. Realistically, without Drew McIntyre, what is Dolph Ziggler going to do on Monday Night Raw? Nothing. I hope to God that this builds McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler up to the point where when Ziggler is broken away from McIntyre, that he is able to float on his own. The worst thing that we can have here is when they break this team up and McIntyre goes to the main event, Dolph sinks to the bottom of the ocean. Then what do you do with him? He'll be right back where he was on SmackDown Live, jobbing for everybody. Great in the ring, but when you hit that theme music, nobody cares. And I think it's about time we do away with that screeching halt of the theme music in the beginning of his theme song. Please. It doesn't make any sense anymore. That was a stage and a gimmick that he played out to feud with Bobby Roode. He ain't feuding with Bobby Roode anymore. So let's get back to doing his old theme music when it just kicks on immediately. Because it's retarded when that fucking screeching halt of the theme music comes on and he just walks out. If you want Dolph Ziggler to be a fucking heel, he should walk out like Champa walks out, with no fucking theme music. That's the greatest thing for a fucking heel to do. Walk out with no theme music. That's why Champa is so great at what he does. The fact that he comes out to no theme music, his theme music is a chorus of boos. Can't get any better than that. You can't get any more organic than that. I hope it works out, man. To see them win the tag team championships from Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy, I think it'd be great. Let's see what it does, man. I think they're the best thing on Monday Night Raw right now, and they're the one thing I'm looking forward to right now while watching Monday Night Raw. Vince McMahon. Apparently everybody's talking about Titus O'Neil from Titus Catering. We all know that Titus O'Neil had a epically botched entrance at the Greatest Royal Rumble. And everybody wants to know what Vince McMahon's reaction was. Did he reprimand Titus O'Neil in the back? Did they give him his future endeavors? Did they treat him as a fucking class clown? Did he embarrass him in front of everybody? What was Vince McMahon's reaction? What was the old man's reaction to that epic fucking botch where Titus O'Neil ran down the ramp, tripped over his own feet, and slid headfirst underneath the ring as if someone stole his fucking recipe for his Cajun chicken? Now, as seen on Friday's Greatest Royal Rumble pay-per-view event, if you want to call it that, special event, I don't think it was a pay-per-view, in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, at King Abdullah International Stadium, Braun Strowman won the 50-man Royal Rumble match. But in that same match, we had many people talking about Titus O'Neil being the highlight of the show and not Braun Strowman, who actually won it. And for one reason and one reason only, his botch. A new report came out right after the event that gave some insight into the reaction that the top man of WWE, Vince McMahon, had for this epically botched moment on the show that earned the promotion millions of dollars. Now, sources are reporting that everyone backstage was laughing, and McMahon was laughing so hard that he was almost in tears. Also, the WWE chairman decided that it was a good idea to call the production team and call Titus O'Neil. He called the production team to show several replays of the moment. After Titus had come back to the ring, or from the ring, from the ring to the backstage area, when he walked through the curtain, the WWE chairman, Vince McMahon, shook Titus's hand and patted him on the back. Funny thing is, after the moment had happened, we were shown replays of it despite some top names coming down the aisle to the ring to compete in the match. Some of the big names featured in this showcase were Daniel Bryan. Oh, actually, they just go through everything here and give you a list of everybody that was in the match. If you guys watched my review, you would have seen or heard me go through each of the 50 competitors and who had the most eliminations. We went through the 50 participants and then who was eliminated and by who. Listen, I do it all for you guys, man. I take notes and everything is good. But that is your thought. That is, the reaction that Vince McMahon gave Titus O'Neil. But Titus O'Neil should have nothing to be, embarrassed about, man. He will, go down as having the greatest Royal Rumble moment of all time. And he has given us a gift that will span generations to come on social media. So, Titus O'Neil made himself into a fucking household name with a botched entrance at the greatest Royal Rumble. I don't really have much else to talk about, man. I honestly do not have much else to talk about. There is nothing but greatest Royal Rumble news, and the show happened all week. I have one more story, and I'm going to end it right here because I legitimately have no news. There might not even be a show tomorrow. There might not even be a show tomorrow unless I conjure up something and pull a fucking Harry Potter out of my ass, man. But this is an interesting story to end on, and something that could be very, very exciting for NXT in general. Triple H has been a major staple of WWE for over 20 years. He's been a member of the WWE roster since 1995 and has risen through the ranks of sports entertainment to be where he is today as Executive Vice President of Talent, Live Events, and Creative, and a senior producer, as you all know, for NXT, and a bona fide Hall of Famer. Throughout his 20-plus years in the WWE, the game has had some incredible matches against Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, Batista, Daniel Bryan, and Seth Rollins. Back in 1997, he co-founded the influential D-Generation X with Shawn Michaels. This group was a major staple of the Attitude Era. Now, after legitimately marrying Stephanie McMahon in 2003, he became a member of the McMahon family. Since 2011, Triple H pretty much, had scaled back his in-ring appearances and has taken a greater behind-the-scenes role with WWE. Right now, as you guys know, he is in charge of NXT and 205 Live completely. During his professional wrestling career, he's held 25 championships, including 9 reigns as WWE Champion and 5 as WWE's World Heavyweight Champion. While Triple H got a bad rap for marrying Vince McMahon's daughter, he was still an active wrestler. Not many people thought that he would be in the position that he is now. While it was believed that Triple H would be an executive in WWE, it was pretty much ruled out that he would be the guy in control of everything. Triple H even went on record by saying that he didn't want to wear a tie and suit. Now, we can all sit here as a community and hope one day that Triple H and his vision is in charge of WWE, just based off the work that he's done with NXT. However, that all changed when McMahon pushed for his son-in-law to slowly but surely become someone who he can lean on, not only with creative but business-related things. Before NXT, Triple H created WWE, and which Triple H created, WWE had OVW and other developmental brands to get talents that they saw as draws ready for the big stage. At the time, the indie scene was a totally different place than it is right now. Triple H believed that they needed to build within instead of reach out to other promotions and grab their talent. But that's the way NXT has done things as of late. They've grabbed a lot of talent from outside promotions and kind of molded them into household names in the WWE. Meanwhile, some of the independent talent that come in don't necessarily always succeed. WWE still maintains the Performance Center, and we've seen some gems come through the Performance Center, like Velveteen Dream. He's been a gem from the Performance Center, and someone that I have a close eye on, watching him just succeed and grow in the WWE. Triple H spoke at the 2018 Business Partner Summit a few weeks ago about where he wanted to take various aspects of this business. During this appearance, he shared his idea for the future of the NXT brand, where the sports entertainment company would go into different areas of the world in order to build new performance centers and recruiting talent all over the globe. Thus, it would be a territorial system. Now, John Pollock on Twitter wrote that Paul Levesque takes credit for coming up with global localization. He explained their push to create NXT brands around the world as a global territorial system reminiscent of the plan the company toyed with over a decade ago but never went through with it. This would be pretty much in sync with the reports that WWE wants to have tournaments all over the world to scout other talent across the globe. They would have a tournament in South America. They would have a tournament in Europe. They would have a tournament in Asia, a tournament in India, a tournament in, various parts of Europe. And they want to find talent from those particular countries to bring on into the Performance Center. And WWE wants to, obviously showcase this on the network, and we as fans get eyes all over this talent from all over the world that we never heard of before, and WWE scoops them up, brings them to the PC, trains them, molds them, WWE superstars are born. But that's not what WWE is going for. What Triple H wants to do is take what we see in Florida, in Orlando with the PC, and put the PC and build new PCs, new performance centers in those parts of the globe. So whomever wants to try out and be a WWE superstar, they get to be trained there in their home country for a shot at making it to NXT. And then a shot from NXT to make it to WWE. WWE wants to pretty much, again, subsidize everything when it comes to the wrestling market. WWE wants to be the king of their domain. They want to monopolize the wrestling industry. They want to take. And with the resurgence of independent wrestling, WWE wants to put their stamp on how to breed and mold superstars. They want to give the superstars a new direction instead of going straight to the indies, staying in the indies for 10 years, and then coming into the Performance Center. I don't mind that aspect as well because it gets that person and that individual out there. It gets them a name and some foundation underneath them, and then when they come to WWE, like a Ricochet, like an EC3, like a War Machine, these guys are already made. But WWE doesn't want to pluck talent. They don't want to pluck talent from here and there. Triple H is doing that now because he has no other choice. You're not going to pass on a guy like Ricochet. You're not going to pass on a guy like EC3. So he has no choice now when he's got guys like that being dangled in front of him. And more are to come. You think it's going to stop there? Of course it's not going to stop there. Dalton Castle's coming to NXT. You know, Jay Lethal is coming to NXT eventually. We're going to see Kenny Omega and everybody else like that come to WWE. But WWE, for, brand globalization, they want to set up performance centers in those parts of the world to mold superstars there. And then hopefully make the jump from the PC there, wherever they are, to NXT. Man, it's a good business model. It's a good business mindset. Whether it goes into effect or not, or how much it's going to cost, remains to be seen. But this is WWE's way of just closing the door on pretty much every aspect of wrestling. They want to be professional wrestling, not only in North America, which they are, head and shoulders above everybody else. They want to be professional wrestling in all parts of the globe. Where you think wrestling is big in the UK, WWE wants all that, and they want to put their stamp on it, and they want to be the ones to say, you know what, fuck whatever's going on, we're doing it the right way. I don't know, man. It is what it is. I like the business aspect of it. Remains to be seen how soon it gets launched and how much it's going to cost. So I'm all up for new talent. And Triple H, man, if there's somebody that is doing things the right way in WWE, Triple H's vision right now is definitely more open-minded than anybody else in the business. And it's certainly exciting to see. And I'm very interested to see what Triple H does, not only with the global localization to create new NXT performance centers, but especially when he takes over, or gets a bigger role in WWE creatively, not only with NXT, but on the main roster. I'm awaiting to see what his vision is for the company moving forward. That's going to be an exciting day, man. And right now, you might not like Triple H. Triple H might have this negative connotation to him, but if NXT is any indication on what he's doing and where his morals lie and his beliefs lie and his old school roots lie, if you take just a little bit of what he's doing in NXT and apply it to the main roster, I think we'll all be better off. Seriously. That's all I got, man. That is all I got, unfortunately, and I'm sorry for the, short news portion of the video, but I hope you guys were still entertained regardless. Don't kill the messenger, man. I don't have any news. It is literally all of the greatest Royal Rumble aftermath, and there's really nothing to talk about. I did mention Sami Zayn, and I don't have the story, but it's a small thing on Sami Zayn as to why he didn't make the greatest Royal Rumble. I believe it has something to do with Sami Zayn being Syrian, and I do believe, if I could find the news article, let me read it to you briefly before we get the hell out of here, because I did read it. There is a WWE statement on why Sami Zayn was not booked for the greatest Royal Rumble. And this is from Ryan Satin of Pro Wrestling Sheet. That was not Zayn's decision to not show up to the show. Satin was told that, similar to the women, he was not booked on the show out of respect to the local culture in Saudi Arabia. Now, the original story stated that, for those of you who have asked about Sami Zayn not being in the Battle Royal, WWE issued the following statement on why he was not booked to appear at the greatest Royal Rumble. WWE is committed to embracing individuals from all backgrounds while respecting local customs and cultural differences around the world. What many have heard was that anyone that had any objections could opt to stay back and not participate on the show. Sami Zayn was allowed to stay home, and it's believed to be because he was from Syrian descent and has been very public about some of the things that have been happening to the people in Syria. Diplomatic ties between Syria and Saudi Arabia have been strained, especially after Saudi Arabia cut off relations with them after Syria decided to close down its embassy. The Syrian ambassador was expelled in 2002. The other name that was not at the show was The Big Show. He was originally advertised for the show, but was pulled from online ads early this week. Nobody knows why, and no reason was given. So, Sami Zayn was opted to not go to the show. This was a WWE decision in the aftermath of it all. WWE made the decision to not put Sami Zayn on the show due to his cultural background. So that's the reason why many have asked why Sami Zayn wasn't there, why Kevin Owens was there and not Sami Zayn. That is the reason why he didn't make the greatest Royal Rumble. But thank you guys so very much, man. If you enjoyed the podcast, if you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think down below. please get your Roman t-shirts. Link will be down in the comment section, pinned at the very top. Also, make sure you guys support my brother's Patreon page, Legionaries Patreon page, just set up, man. If you guys enjoy good music, my brother is the go-to man. Thank you guys so very much. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. And I will see you guys. Hopefully I got something tomorrow for a part 2 so we can close out this weekend, man. So I guess the Greatest Royal Rumble review will be the unofficial start of Off the Script. And we'll just do Saturday and Sunday this week because there really is no news. And then we'll begin fresh with the new week of WWE programming. But that's all I got. Thank you guys so much. Get your Roman t-shirts. Do it today, man. You're not going to be disappointed. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow with part 2 of Off the Script. I'll talk to you later.